Coming up on Sports Weekly, we will break down the CIF Southern Section softball brackets, including a big game between San Bernardino and Pacific to decide the number one seed in the league champion from the Mountain Valley League. Plus, it was a very important final week of CBL play for the Cajon Cowgirls. Big game against Rev, which set up a, even bigger game on the road at Beaumont for a CBL championship. We'll break that all down. Plus, we'll head out to Indian Springs for the Ambassador League Finals. The Ambassador swimming. We'll get to the finals there, crown some champions. Plus, speaking of champions, how about the Cajon Cowboys?
Pep Fernandez,
Champions and getting ready for Division I. Also track and field action from San Gorgonio High School. It was the Arrowhead Athletic Conference Finals. Yes, all 14 schools, the Sunkist, the San Andreas, and the Skyline League, all at San G to crown champions. And speaking of San G, you can't talk about the Spartans without their athletic director, Matt Maida, the former San G student himself, now the AD, and there is none better as he is named the California Athletic Director of the Year. We will have an exclusive interview with Matt Maida next on Sports Weekly on IEMG, and it starts right now. And what is up, everybody? Welcome to Sports Weekly on IEMG. I'm your host, Pep Fernandez. We appreciate you tuning in on this episode and each and every week to Sports Weekly. And it's a great time of the year. We are finishing up the regular season for high school spring sports, which means we're crowning league champions. Teams are fighting for the playoffs. And now, of course, we do have the CIF Southern Section playoffs. This segment dedicated to softball, and we had some very important games on our local diamonds to crown league champions and also fight for playoff positioning for the CIF Southern Section playoffs, which we'll get to some of those first round matchups in just a moment. But first, in the Mountain Valley League, we had a winner-take-all championship game between rivals San Bernardino and Pacific. Both teams with just one loss in league action. The winner of this game on the final day of the regular season would be your Mountain Valley League champion. Let's take you out to Cardinal City, USA. And again, big game between these two rivals, the Pirates and the Cardinals. Pacific actually took the lead in the 6th inning, but we fast forward to the bottom of the 7th. We are now tied at 5 apiece when Samantha Calderas launches this ball deep to the left center field gap. That will bring around the winning run, and San Bernardino is a league champion for the first time since 1986. Congratulations to head coach Aaron Cook and the Cardinals. They punched their ticket to the playoffs. They are league champions, and what a time for the San Bernardino High School softball team, plus Pacific. Man, what a year the Pirates had. They are also going to the playoffs. We'll take a look at those playoff brackets in just a moment. I told you that was a big game. Congrats to the Cardinals there. All right, now let's go to the Citrus Belt League, and it was also a wild finish in the CBL. So here's the deal. Yucaipa had already earned a share of the Citrus Belt League championship, but on the final night of the regular season in the CBL, Cajon played on the road at Beaumont. The winner of that game would join Yucaipa as co-champions in the CBL. Now let's start with Cajon. They started the week at home against Rev. They had to win this game to stay in the hunt for the league championship. That is Mercedes Alba cranking a home run. Cajon wins that game by a final score of 6-1. They also beat Redlands to set up that big showdown on the road at Beaumont High School. And it was no score I think that was the 5th inning there when the Cougars scratch out a pair of runs. They weren't pretty. Like that comebacker to the circle. They weren't pretty, like I said, but they got the job done. Those 2 runs for Beaumont would stand up the rest of the way. And again, the winner of this game between Cajon and Beaumont would share the Citrus Belt League championship with Yucaipa. It was a great pitcher's duel, 2 of the best pitchers in our area going head-to-head. but those two Beaumont runs would stand up. Cam Salmon in the circle there. Cajon got a hit off there. They actually had some base runners in the later innings to kind of make things interesting against the Cougars, but Beaumont would hang on at home. They win that game by a final score of 2-0. So that means Beaumont and Yucaipa finish in a tie for first, co-champions in the CBL at 8-2 in league play. And Cajon just one game back at 7-3, although technically the third place team in the CBL. But Beaumont, Yucaipa, and Cajon all going to the playoffs. Now let's take a look at this fancy graphic, and these are just for the city of San Bernardino schools in the city district who are going on to the playoffs, or at least inside the city limits, going on to the playoffs for just softball here. So in the first round, it's going to be Aquinas. They're going to take on the San Andreas champs, Carter High School. Cajon will play on the road at University Prep in Division 5. San Bernardino, your Mountain Valley League champions, they earn a first-round home playoff game against a very tough Hillcrest team from Riverside. That's D6. And finally, in Division 7, your MVL runner-up, Pacific. What a great season for the Pirates. They're moving on. They will play up the mountain in the first round in D7 at Rim of the World. So those are for at least your inside the city of San Bernardino limits, your playoff teams here for softball. And best of luck to our local baseball teams continuing their season. We'll have more on baseball next week. Aquinas, Cajon, San Bernardino back in the playoffs, San G. So we'll talk more about the high school baseball playoffs next week on Sports Weekly on IEMG. And now let's go to the Ambassador League swim finals at Indian Springs in San Bernardino. Check out some of the sights and sounds.
Linda Stone, Lane 7, River Springs Charter, Sierra. Gotta go, Lily, gotta go! Go, Lily, go!
Well, it was on the girls' side, Arrowhead Christian coming away with a first-place finish with 126 total points, just ahead of Loma Linda Academy with 117. The Aquinas Falcons coming in third place on the girls' side with 81 points. For the boys, it was Loma Linda Academy running away with it, 189 points. The Roadrunners, the top team in the Ambassador League this season. ACA finished in second with 102. Western Christian third. Woodcrest Christian fourth. The Aquinas boys came in fifth place with 37 points in the Ambassador League finals, again out there at Indian Springs High School in San Bernardino. Best of luck to the swimmers who are advancing to the CIF Southern Section prelims coming up this week. All right, when we come back here on Sports Weekly on IEMG, we will talk some track and field with the Cajon Cowboys, the boys team, one of the top teams in Division 1 all season long, and now a bunch of CBL champions as well. A lot of hardware for the Cowboys at the CBL Finals at Beaumont. We'll do that next here on Sports Weekly on IEMG.